What's going on, you guys? It's Andrew back with another video, and today we are going to be discussing the Nike Doernbecher Air Max 90 designed by Emerson Harrell. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So before we get into the sneaker, I want to explain a little bit about the Doernbecher Air Max 90 and the Doernbecher Nike collaborations for those of you who may not be totally familiar with it. Since 2004, Nike and the OHSU Doernbecher Children's Hospital have maintained a partnership where every year they select 10 patients from their children's hospital to design their own Nike shoes. Once the shoes are designed, these shoes get sold by Nike and the proceeds go towards the OHSU Foundation, which goes towards the cost of research, treatments, and the general care of the children patients that are in these hospitals. So every year, 10 children are selected and they get the chance to design an existing Nike silhouette with their own colorways, their own unique materials, and basically put their own spin on the shoes. This past year, along with 9 other models, Nike released this pair of Air Max 90s, and they were designed by a patient by the name of Emerson Harrell. Emerson is a 15-year-old patient at the OHSU Doernbecher Children's Hospital. He suffers from inflammatory bowel disease, and I think he designed one of the best colorways of this year's Doernbecher collection. For starters, the shoe itself comes in the Doernbecher Freestyle box. Freestyle is obviously referring to the opportunity the children have to have full creative freedom with their shoes, obviously to a certain extent. I mean, I don't think they can just do whatever they want. But over the years, we have seen a lot of really crazy colorways and designs that sometimes you see them and you think, yeah, a kid definitely designed this shoe. But other times I've seen pairs and colorways that come out of the Doernbecher collections and they're just phenomenal. Very simple, all over blue box with a removable lid. On the inside of the lid, you can see a little bio on Emerson himself. So you got his picture, you got a little bit of details about him, as well as a little bit of details about the foundation. This is the first pair of Doernbecher sneakers that I have in the collection, so I don't have any other to compare them to, but I think this is the first time we've seen a box this detailed. And of course, getting right into the sneaker itself. Like I mentioned, this is the Air Max 90 model. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the Air Max 90, so this pair was on my radar. The official colorway of the shoe is Valor Blue, White, and Wolf Gray, and you obviously have some hits of red along the sock liner. Throughout the upper, you can see that Valor Blue is on display in the mudguard and different panels throughout the shoe. You can see it on the back heel tab, the tongue, and a little bit of striping along the heel wedge, which I think is a nice touch. You don't see that very often. The Wolf Gray heel wedge sits along the midsole with a white polyurethane material, and it also appears in the Air Max logo on the side of the shoe and on the bottom eyelets. The white breaks up the rest of the paneling, as well as one of the eyelets and the midsole, and provides a little bit of contrast throughout the swoosh on the side. The red sock liner is the only place you see that colorway kind of break itself up. And along with the swoosh, the sock liner has a almost paisley looking design, but upon further inspection, it's actually taken from American currency design. Emerson is a 15-year-old kid who wants to grow up to be an investment banker or a financial advisor. He has a lot of interest in money, in making money. I was once a 15-year-old kid. I can totally understand where he's coming from with that. But I think that they took that inspiration and played with it really nicely. Instead of putting like dollar signs, they have his initial E in the shape of a dollar sign along the back heel with a Nike swoosh. That logo appears in a leather patch on the tongue as well. And I think the almost paisley looking print is a nice way to throw in that money inspiration instead of just being blatant about it. Another unique feature about the shoe is that the white paneling along the heel and the toe box have almost a wrinkled look to them. I'm not sure where they got this inspiration from, but it's definitely something I've never seen on an Air Max 90 before. And the bottom of the shoe has obviously the Wolf Gray bits from the heel wedge, as well as an all semi-translucent sole. Not something you see very often. If you've been collecting sneakers a long time, you know that soles like this tend to yellow pretty quickly, but I think it's appropriate with this kind of shoe. I think having a white outsole would have been too bland, and I think it was a good touch. Along the Valor Blue suede mudguard, you have the words "Bear Down," which I did not know the inspiration behind that at first. I, come from Chicago. I thought Bear Down had something to do with the Chicago Bears. I thought with that blue, white, and red color, I thought, maybe he's from Chicago. As it turns out, it's from the Arizona Wildcats, which is his favorite school, his favorite team. And according to Emerson, it's something that he kind of tells himself when he's faced with different issues, obviously with medical challenges and whatnot. At a young age, it's very important to keep that positive attitude and remain optimistic, even though he is faced with a lifelong condition. Honestly, this subject's a little difficult to talk about because, we're talking about, a Nike shoe that was designed by a kid, but it was only designed by a kid because he's in a pediatric hospital with a serious condition that requires monthly visits, and that's really upsetting, to be quite honest with you. But I think having an attitude like Emerson has, being positive, trying to bear down and power through things, and look for the light on the other side, it's very important to have that, and it's very inspiring. So that's what I think makes this shoe so special. These retail for $140 US. They fit pretty standard, true to size, like most Air Max 90s. So if you know what size you wear in Air Max 90s, you can go ahead and go with the same one. I definitely went with my true 8.5. So I'm really happy I was able to talk to you guys about this pair. And if you didn't already know about the Doernbecher Nike collaborations, there you go. You have something new to look for every year when they come out with a new colorway, or a new set of 10 colorways, I should specify. Let me know what you guys think about this Doernbecher collaboration and any previous Doernbecher collaborations if you have a specific favorite. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Emerson for designing an incredible pair of Air Max 90s. I hope the best going forward, of course. Also check me out on Instagram at Drew Reviews. And until next time, guys, this is Andrew signing off. Peace. One more thing I want to add, from that unboxing footage you guys saw that I picked these shoes up from StockX, so I did not pick these up from Nike directly. My money did not go directly towards the OHSU Foundation, which is unfortunate. However, I will say this, every time these Doernbecher shoes come out and they sell out, all that money that was intended for the organization and the foundation does go towards the foundation. The downside is, of course, the resale market, where people are trying to make a profit off of the shoes that were sold for a specific foundation. And personally, I'm not a fan of how that makes me feel. I don't really like the way that some of these Doernbecher collaborations go for insane prices in the aftermarket. So with the bid I put on StockX, I bid $160 on these. After fees, came out to $194. But the retail price on this shoe was $140. After tax and shipping, you're looking at close to $160. After you sell the shoe for $160, you're receiving even less. You're receiving less than retail price after taxes and fees are taken out from the seller. So am I upset that I had to buy them in the resale market for over retail price? Yes, but do I feel bad that the guys selling them didn't actually make a profit? I don't feel bad about that at all. So there you have it. Until next time, guys, this is Andrew signing off. Peace.